We're going to talk about the header translation filter, otherwise known as HDR X Latte. This is our page for it. It's a very simple filter. I'm going to go over our docs for it, which is 3 steps, and you're done. And then I will show you a demonstration of it in use. What it is, a filter, you add it to the system model just like you'd add any other filter. And for any header name that you might pass across, not the value of the header name, you can give the header name, that would be original name, right here. And you can give it a new name, and when it passes through Repose, the header will be transformed, the name of the header will be transformed into this new name, and you can also give it a Boolean value as to whether or not you want the original value removed, or the original header removed, I should say. That's about it for that. You can give a new name space delimited with multiple names. So you can make one header, have multiple names, but the value will be all the same for all of them. All right. Here I have Repose already set up. Start this up here. Any questions while Repose is starting? No? Too late. No, what's up?
Why would you want to change the name?
You know, people are dumb. And they don't do stuff right the first time, so they want to change it. It is started, and let me show you the configuration that I've set up. This is the system model I'm using right here.
Wait, was that all the explanation
No.
you're actually going to give?
So one use case is, let's say, like one use case that we actually have people doing it for is they've got a custom filter for authentication, and that custom filter adds in headers called XRAX roles and XRAX username, and we don't use XRAX roles or XRAX username inside of Repose, and so they translate XRAX roles to X- roles and XRAX username to X- username.
That's my example. So here it is. This is a normal filter setup. It has a node. It has a destination. This destination is our reflection service, so you'll see what we get back when we do this. And here's the filter, header-translation. This is a real-world use case that I cut some redundant stuff out of just so you can see basically the 2 differences here. And what it's going to do is it's going to take a header with x-user-name, and it's going to translate it to x-rax-username, and it is going to remove the original x-user-name header. The second one will be x-tenant name to x-rax tenants, but the original value is going to be retained. Very simple setup. I've actually had someone, after using translation, try to use this and not be able to figure it out because it was too simple. They couldn't understand that it was just that easy. Send a curl request across. As you can see, I have x-user-name with test user and x-tenant-name with test tenant.
Do you mind making your font a little bit?
Sure.
He doesn't mind, but he can't do it.
Command plus.
Okay, awesome. There we go. All right. So, based off those values where we're going to retain the original x-tenant name, you can see right here, highlight it, that the original x-tenant name header was retained. However, there is now also the XRAX tenants with the same value in both of them. The XRAX username, or the original was, yeah, x-user-name, that was translated into XRAX username, but there is no x-user-name anymore because that one we chose in this config remove original to be true, so it removed the original value. And that's it. That is header X Latte.
Oh.
Any other questions?
How can it break? What if it doesn't find the header you're translating? Does it just ignore that request?
Yes,
Okay, so it doesn't expect the header to be present at every time.
correct. Yeah, I can show you that if you want. So I'll add another header. Whoa, weird things are happening.
I think her example was actually remove one of the two headers you already have there. Just a question.
I thought it was if you give it a tenant, or if you give it a header that it's not expecting.
No.
Could you
if
repeat
you
it,
don't have
Karen?
a header, it is expecting.
Actually, my question is, how can it
Okay,
break?
that's even easier.
What does broken look like for this filter?
There's no broken case that I know of.
It's just not doing what you think it's going to do.
Yeah.
How do you misconfigure?
You'd have to have bad syntax. It's really the only way to misconfigure it.
But what happens? Does it give you a message? Does Repose start up?
That's a good question. What happens if you jack up a config file?
Repose
Is it the
should-
same for every config file?
Yes.
Yeah.
Repose does not start up.
Well, Repose starts up, but it will return
500.
500s or 503s.
503s.
And something is not complete. Sorry, the wraparound on this is very funky. See, look at that. That is totally not what I wrote out a second ago. There we go. So this time I didn't give it one it was expecting. It dealt with the one that it found, and that was it. We do have, we have much more extensive tests on it, which I can show you here. It was either Dimitri or Richard that did this, and so he covered just a lot of different cases. So it is pretty well tested. There aren't any failures or bugs that I know of. And I know we have at least one person using it in real life, which is CSL.
Did you say CSI?
CSL, Customer Service Layer.
Is that what all the XSLs are? Is something service layer?
Service Layer typically, yeah. So here, I'm going to inject this config file up.
Should you try to
For-
pass this message?
You. Yeah, maybe he knows of a bug.
So if you jack it up right now, it means going to use the good one that you had before.
Yeah, I just restarted also.
Okay.
What happens when you totally mess up the syntax? There you go.
And now try to send a request through.
Oh, and try to send a request?
Yeah.
Okay. And well, it's 503 service unavailable, which is, I know that's what you get whenever Repose is broken or doesn't start up right in general.
Awesome.
All right. I'm done.
Michelle, you want to do yours first, or you want me to?
She would have line the next thing right now. Oh.
That's cool. I'm sorry I didn't give you a better explanation. That's what I think the explanation is for real. It's just they don't know how to deal with it. I mean, well, Repose in general is here to make things easier for other people. But if if you were sending me extra roles instead of like X roles, I'm pretty sure I would be able to deal with that. Like if I was there instead of them.
So there would also be